Hello, my name is Jared. Welcome to my channel, Keen Reads. And today I'm going to be doing a book tag that I was tagged in by Mike at Bibliophile Bookscape. He has a great channel. I'll link it down below, so go ahead and check him out as well. But this is called the What If I Never Acquire Another Book tag. So I thought this was really interesting. I wrote down the questions here so I can read them. He tagged me in another tag as well, which was filming day tag, but I kind of have a pretty boring filming day, so I wasn't going to do that one. I figured no one would want to watch that video because I basically just set up my camera, film whatever comes to my mind, and then I turn the camera off. Upload it to CapCut, which helps me snip out things that I need to. Usually I just snip out the beginning and the end. And that's about it. I film whenever I feel like I want to film a video. The only preparation I have is I lock my dogs out of the room because they tend to jump up on my lap or knock over the camera because they're so big. I have two German Shepherds. One of them is named Keen, which is why this channel is called Keen Reads. Anyways, that's a mini version of that tag. We're going to jump into the what if I never acquire another book tag. So question number one is, if you could never acquire another book again, how long do you think your current library would last you? Well, I have probably close to 800 or 900 books, I would bet. And I've read probably like 500 or 600 of them. So that leaves about 300 I haven't read, 250 to 300 that I haven't read. I read anywhere from 55 to 70 books a year. So let's just say 60 books a year, and I have 300 books. That'd last me about 5 years. So I think I'd make it pretty far, and that's not including any rereads that I would do, which there's definitely a lot of books that I want to reread. In fact, one of the qualifications for being in my library as a book is something that I wouldn't mind rereading one day. So I think it would last me a while, at least 5 years of new books. Question two is, what book do you own that you would first give attention to? I think if sorry, I'm not looking at the camera, I'm looking at my books. I don't think I would probably change my current TBR because what is on my TBR I already own. So I would probably next read The Divine Comedy by Dante. Just because I think that's going to be the next book that I read after I finish what I'm currently reading, which is Biographia Literaria by Samuel Taylor Coleridge and A Passage to India by E.M. Forster. By the way, this is probably going to serve as a replacement for my weekly wrap-up video because I'm still just kind of in the middle of those books. Didn't get a ton of time to read this week, so not too many updates or anything like that. This is the question that I really wanted to answer and got me thinking, and it was, what book would you regret not owning? And there's a couple that came to mind. The first, all of them being kind of longer works. So the two that came to mind first, actually, is The Diary of Samuel Pepys, which is like a 9-volume diary from someone from the Restoration era England. So think second half or like the later years of the 1600s. Something I've been meaning to get for a while, but just haven't had the money to do. Another one that came to mind is A Study of History by Arthur Arnold Toynbee. Maybe it's Arnold or Arthur, and that might not even be the name of the series, but another multi-volume series looking at history. Those are just the first two that came to mind. I really went to longer books because if I could own one more book than I do now, that one book that I regret not owning, I would want something that would going to be sustaining for a while. So I think it'd be one of those, some multi-volume work of history or biography or something like that, rather than a single novel or something like that. I feel like I have at least a novel or two of most of the authors that I want to read in my lifetime. I've built up a pretty good collection, I would say. Question 4 is, would you miss discovering new books or would you enjoy rediscovering what you already have? Oh, I would definitely miss rediscovering or discovering new books. One of my favorite things to do is go to a bookstore and just see what's there that I've never heard of, or scroll on eBay for really old books that I've never heard of as well, or really cool editions of books that I have. That's probably one of my favorite things to do. And I would dearly, dearly miss it because there's so many good books out there that I don't know about. The book that I regret not owning is probably a book that I've never heard of. Question 5. How would you handle seeing people talk about amazing new books you couldn't get? I honestly think I would have to really cut back on the amount of book content that I consume, just because my curiosity for new books is so great that it would be kind of heartbreaking to hear so much talk about books that I could never consume or absorb. I don't really like the word consume. I like that it was the first word that came to my mind. Um, but books that I can ponder and absorb. Yeah, it would be really, really tough. Last question is, would bookstores still be enjoyable to you? And again, the answer would be no, unfortunately, because there's just one of my favorite hobbies is going to bookstores and finding books that I didn't know that I wanted or didn't even know existed. And going to bookstores would still help me find books that I didn't know existed or that I didn't want. It would just be that I couldn't get them anymore. So that is the what if you could never acquire another book tag. I'm not going to tag anyone. If you're watching this and haven't been tagged yet, please feel free to tag yourself and do it. I am welcoming you to do it. However, I feel like most people that watch my channel also probably watch Bibliophile Bookscape and have already been tagged. So yeah, I enjoyed doing this tag again, especially kind of thinking about question number 3, which was what book would I want that I currently don't have. I'd love to see some other responses to this video, and thanks for watching.